Yay! It's day 5. Can you believe it? I'm so excited. We are just plowing through this challenge and it's been so fun. So today we're going to talk about analytics. Bum, bum, bum! Might feel weird and scary. It's okay. It's not that scary. So if you've never looked at your analytics before, today's going to be a mind-blowing one. So in your app, you can do this as we go. So in your app, go to your profile, tap on the button that says analytics, and we're going to look through it. So there's a couple different things that analytics show. Analytics show things like how often your stuff is looked at, how often people comment, how often people like things, who your audience is. This is super important, especially when you're talking about your ideal client, because is your ideal client actually following you, or do you have a lot of the wrong people there? So it's going to show things like gender, it's going to show things like age, it's going to show things like location. This is super important, especially if you have a service-based offering. You know, if people can only get your service in your location, then you're going to want to make sure that you are getting people who are actually in your area. If it's worldwide, then maybe the location doesn't matter as much to you, and maybe the age does, or maybe the gender does. Whatever's important to you, that's for you to find out, obviously, especially when we're talking about our ideal client. This is why we get specific on these things, because we're talking to exactly them, and we want to make sure that our pool of people we're talking to is the right pool of people. Analytics also are really great at showing us what's working and what's not. This, for me, has been a game changer, because I was like, obviously my beautiful pictures are the things that people like the most, obviously. And then I looked at my analytics and I was like, oh, well then, because it was reels. That's what people like. And then I thought, okay, so swallow my little pride there, and now we're going to shift what we're doing, and we're going to make sure that what people are actually looking at is saying what I actually wanted it to. Because when I first started doing reels, I thought they were like just a random for fun thing that didn't matter. And then I realized they were getting more views than the posts where I was talking about the stuff that mattered. And I was like, I need to shift this completely the other way. And I need to talk about the things that really matter on my reels, because that's what people have their eyeballs on. So this can sometimes feel a little, I don't know, it can feel a little vulnerable, especially if you put a lot of effort into the things that aren't getting as much engagement or views. And that's okay. They're still super valuable. Right? Like we talked about yesterday, your posts that stay there for a long time, maybe they don't have as many views, but people are spending more time, you know, when they're actually digging deep into who you are, reading those. So none of the content you put out is trash. Don't delete it. Don't ever delete content. It's there. It's building a foundation for you, right? But what we're going to use the analytics for is just actually looking into and being honest about what's working for us and what's not. So those 3 posts you made yesterday, today we're going to use them. So I want you to look and write down, go find the analytics for those exact posts. And what you're going to do is you're going to be able to see them on the little grid. You're going to be able to tap. And if you actually press on it, you're going to be able to see very intricate analytics, like how many times it was liked, how many impressions, how many comments, all those things. So I want you to make a little chart in your journal of what each one did. And for stories, you can also do this. So in your analytics, you press on the story, and then it shows you those same analytics for views and all that. For the story, you might want to wait for a full 24 hours to do this part. So if you posted at like 5 o'clock yesterday and it's like 10 a.m. right now, maybe wait with this exercise until it's been a full 24 hours. And then look side by side on all 3 and see what actually worked the most. What are you going to then do with this information? Well, that's just one post, right? So we can't hang our entire hat on that data, but it is a learning experience, and you can do this as often as you want. You can do this with every single piece of content if you want. It's a great way to reuse content. So just looking at, okay, what worked best, what didn't? What should I put more effort into? What maybe can I just be like, oh, this is working, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. This is really a great way. We're going to dive deep, and we're going to be like, okay, I'm going to take the emotion out of it, and we're just going to look at what's working and what we need to work harder on. When you're looking at your analytics, at the top, you can choose how long of a period you want to look at. So now we're going to look at from today until when we started this challenge. So you can select the exact dates from when you started the challenge till today. And then it's gonna show you what that is compared to whatever the week before. So you're gonna see either an increase or a decrease in views, engagement, things like that. So likely you're gonna see an increase because you've been posting every day and you've been putting out new content. So you're just gonna have to see, did my reels do better? Did my posts do better? What's performing the best? Take a look and find the one piece from this last however many days, 5 days that we've been doing, and what did the absolute best of all the things. So make a little tallies, on all your posts, which was the best, on all your reels, which was the best, on all your stories, which was the best, and then compare and find your one single piece of the very best performing content, and you're gonna send it to me. And you'll be like, okay, didn't expect this, but this was my best performing piece. You can also look over the last year. Sometimes it gets a little skewed if you do something like a contest where people have to comment a name or something. I would personally take those out of when you're actually viewing analytics for purposes of making more content. Because yeah, you get a lot of engagement on them, but people aren't responding to what you've written, they're just entering a contest. Contests are great, but they're not actually getting people to engage with you, right? So if you're looking, I very often like to go for the last 90 days, in this general chunk of time, what's doing the absolute best. And then I'm gonna keep creating content like that, because obviously it's doing well. This might feel like a lot, and you might get a little lost down the little rabbit hole of analytics, especially if you've never done it before. If you're a whiz at analytics and you know all about this, great, off you go. But I want you to look at this last 5 days, and especially at the very end of this 10-day challenge, and see, okay, did it actually work? Did I put in the effort that I wanted to? Am I being honest with myself? Did I actually go all in? And did I see changes? Because that's what we're doing. We're trying things, and then we're reviewing them, and then we're adjusting, and we're moving on, right? Because we don't have to be perfect, and we're allowed to change our mind.